In modern American research on aging and longevity, people who remain remarkably sharp in both mind and body, even past 80, are often called superagers. They are not individuals with rare talent or extraordinary genetics. They are not relying on expensive medications or pushing themselves through intense athletic training routines. The real difference comes down to something much simpler. It is whether or not they consistently practice small, almost invisible habits built into their everyday lives. Today, I am going to share 6 habits practiced naturally by people between 75 and 85 who stay physically and mentally youthful and continue living life on their own terms. I believe that if you are watching this, you already care deeply about your health and are always looking to learn. If even one of the 6 habits I am about to introduce makes you think I already do that, then you should feel confident. That is clear evidence that you already have the qualities of a superager, and that is truly impressive. If you are not doing them yet, that is perfectly fine. Simply becoming aware of them can begin to change your life starting tomorrow morning. Imagine a future 10 years from now where people tell you that you have not changed at all. For that future, take a moment to relax, maybe enjoy a warm cup of tea, and stay with me until the end. On this channel, we share practical tips and helpful insights designed to help people over 70 improve their health span and daily life. To make sure you do not miss future updates, be sure to subscribe right now. Now let's begin with the first habit. This is something people over 75 who remain energetic and youthful do almost without thinking. The first habit is very simple, yet incredibly powerful. They open their curtains as soon as they wake up. They let natural sunlight reach their eyes and their body right away. You might be thinking, is that really all it takes? But take a moment and reflect honestly on your own mornings. After you wake up, do you stay in bed for a while letting your thoughts wander? Do you keep the blinds closed and spend the early hours in a dim room without much light? These small patterns are more common than we realize. As we get older, exposing ourselves to light first thing in the morning becomes more difficult. At the same time, it becomes far more important than most people expect. The reason people who maintain this habit stand out is because they are resetting their internal body clock every single day through their own actions. According to findings widely supported by the National Institutes of Health, the body produces a hormone called serotonin. This is often referred to as the feel-good hormone. When morning sunlight enters through the eyes, it activates this process and signals the brain that the day has begun. As the day moves forward, serotonin is gradually converted into melatonin. Melatonin is the hormone that helps you fall into deep and restful sleep at night. This means something very important. Only people who receive enough natural light in the morning are setting themselves up for quality sleep later on. On the other hand, avoiding morning light can quietly lead to sleep problems. Poor sleep reduces your energy during the day. Over time, it lowers your level of activity, and in the long run, it may even contribute to a loss of independence. People who stay strong and active well beyond 75 are not doing anything dramatic. They simply maintain this rhythm every day without thinking about it. They wake up, open the curtains, and let the light in. That small action sends a powerful signal to the brain that it is time to begin moving and engaging with the day. If you are already waking up at a consistent time and letting in the morning light, that is truly something to be proud of. You are managing your sleep and your emotional balance without relying on medication. It may seem simple, but it reflects a very high level of self-awareness and self-control. It does not matter if the sky is cloudy or if it is raining. Just standing near a window is enough to activate this process. Tomorrow morning when you wake up, try this. Open your eyes and let the light in first. From that moment, your body begins to reset. And that is where your path to staying youthful truly begins. Now, let's move on to the second habit. People who stay healthy and vibrant well into their 70s and 80s tend to start their morning not with cold water, but with warm water that is close to body temperature. It may sound like a small choice, but it reveals something deeper about how they listen to their body. When you wake up in the morning, what is the first thing you reach for? Is it a strong cup of coffee or a glass of cold water straight from the refrigerator. Of course, staying hydrated is important, and that part is absolutely good. But the people who choose warm water are the ones who are paying attention to what their body truly needs. During sleep, your body temperature naturally drops. As we age, especially in our 70s and 80s, muscle mass decreases. This means the body becomes less efficient at generating heat compared to when we were younger. If you suddenly pour cold water into that system, your internal organs react quickly. They tighten, they slow down, and their function becomes less efficient. Think about it this way. On a cold winter morning in a place like Chicago or Denver, what would happen if you tried to push a car engine to full speed before it had time to warm up? It would strain the system. The same principle applies to your body. People often referred to as superagers understand this whether through experience or knowledge. They begin their day by slowly drinking warm water close to their body temperature or slightly warmer. As that warmth spreads through the digestive system, it gently activates the stomach and intestines. Blood circulation improves, and the body begins to wake up in a natural and balanced way. Some studies suggest that when internal temperature rises by about 2 degrees Fahrenheit, immune function can increase by around 30%, and metabolic activity also improves. This means that a simple glass of warm water in the morning is not just hydration. It is a gentle way to awaken your body and prepare it for the day ahead. There is also something else hidden in this habit. The act of boiling water, pouring it into a cup, and letting it cool slightly creates a quiet moment in the morning. That small pause reflects a sense of calm and control. It shows that you are not rushing through your day, but instead beginning it with intention. If you are someone who already starts your morning with something warm, that is truly impressive. You are protecting your internal organs, you are supporting your immune system, and you are building one of the most powerful habits for keeping illness at a distance without even realizing it. Now let's move on to the third habit. This time we are going to talk about food. People who remain strong and steady on their feet well past 75 almost always share one important pattern. They do not rely on just toast and coffee in the morning. They make sure to include protein in their breakfast. This is a point that many people overlook. As we age, appetite naturally decreases. It becomes common to hear someone say they are not hungry in the morning, so they settle for a single slice of toast and a cup of coffee. Others may choose something very light and simple just to get by. There is nothing wrong with that, but when it comes to maintaining strength and staying youthful, it may not be enough. While you sleep, your body is not just resting. Your muscles are actually being broken down. When you wake up, your body is in a state where it needs rebuilding materials. If you only consume carbohydrates at that moment, your body may begin breaking down even more muscle to produce energy. Over time, this contributes to a condition known as sarcopenia, or age-related muscle loss, which is very common in older adults. If you take a look at the breakfast table of active men and women in their 70s and 80s, you will almost always find a source of protein. It might be eggs, grilled fish, yogurt, beans, tofu, or other simple foods. These individuals understand something very important. Muscle is not just about strength. It is the foundation that supports their independence and their ability to live life on their own terms. You might feel that cooking eggs in the morning is too much trouble, but it does not have to be complicated. You can prepare boiled eggs ahead of time. You can open a container of yogurt. You can add a simple source of protein to what you are already eating. What matters is the intention, the decision to support your body instead of neglecting it. That awareness is what separates those who continue to move freely from those who slowly lose mobility. If you included eggs, dairy, or plant-based protein in your breakfast today, take a moment to acknowledge that you protected your muscles today. You invested in your future. Every bite you take in the morning is building something. It is shaping how you will walk, move, and live 10 years from now. If you're still watching this video and feel that what we're sharing is truly helpful, please leave us a comment. How old are you and where are you watching from? Do you have any experience with the topic we're discussing? Even just a few words from you mean a lot to us and are a great source of motivation. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button now and turn on notifications. Thank you so much. Now, let's continue. The fourth habit may surprise you at first, but from a neuroscience perspective, it makes perfect sense. People who stay mentally sharp as they age tend to do something very simple before they reach for the newspaper or turn on the television. They use their fingers. You might be thinking, does that mean playing the piano or doing something complicated? Not at all. It can be something very ordinary. Buttoning your shirt carefully, tying your shoelaces, twisting open the cap on a bottle, watering plants in your living room, or out on your patio. These are small actions that are already part of daily life. At first glance, it may seem like nothing special, but as people move into their 70s and 80s, these fine finger movements often begin to feel like a hassle. It becomes tempting to choose convenience instead. Slip-on shoes instead of laces, elastic waistbands instead of buttons, small changes that reduce the need to use your fingers. Here is where it becomes important. Inside your brain, there is something known as the Penfield map. This is a representation of how different parts of your body are connected to the brain. What is surprising is that the hands and fingers take up one of the largest areas on that map. This means that moving your fingers stimulates a wide region of the brain and increases blood flow almost instantly. In other words, using your fingers is not just a physical action. It is a form of brain training. It activates neural pathways and keeps them engaged. Research supported by institutions like the National Institutes of Health has shown that maintaining fine motor activity is closely linked to cognitive health as we age. People who maintain a youthful mind often treat these small actions with care. When applying lotion, they take their time and feel the movement of their hands. When shaving, they pay attention to each motion. When tying a tie or fastening clothing, they move deliberately. They do not rush through these moments. They use them as opportunities to stay connected with their body. Those who approach these movements with awareness tend to maintain stronger neural networks in the brain. Over time, this may help reduce the risk of cognitive decline. It is not about doing things perfectly. It is about continuing to use your hands. If you are still dressing yourself, cooking, or handling small tasks with your fingers, that is something to appreciate. Your hands are not just tools, they are directly connected to your brain. Even if your movements are slow or not as precise as before, it does not matter. Take pride in using your hands. Your fingers are like a bridge to your brain, and every time you use them, you are strengthening that connection. The fifth habit is one of the most important when it comes to protecting your life. It may sound simple, but it has a powerful impact. People who remain strong and resilient as they age make sure to use their voice every morning. They speak to someone if they can, or even talk out loud to themselves. What matters is that they actively use their voice. In the United States, one serious health risk among older adults is aspiration pneumonia. This condition happens when the ability to swallow weakens, allowing food or even saliva to enter the lungs. What many people do not realize is that this swallowing ability is closely connected to how often we use our voice. The muscles in the throat weaken surprisingly quickly when they are not used. This becomes especially important for people who live alone or go out less often. It is not uncommon for someone to go through an entire day without speaking to anyone. Hours pass quietly, and by evening, the voice has barely been used. Over time, this silence can have real physical consequences. But people who stay healthy and active do something different. They talk often. If they live with family, they greet the morning with a clear and strong good morning. If they live alone, they still find ways to use their voice. They talk to their dog or cat. They respond out loud to the television. They say a short prayer. They hum a favorite song or sing a few lines they remember. These simple actions are doing more than filling silence. They are strengthening the muscles of the throat. They help maintain the ability to swallow properly. And in doing so, they reduce the risk of serious illness like aspiration pneumonia. At the same time, using your voice also helps release stress. When you speak from your diaphragm, your breathing becomes deeper. That deeper breathing helps regulate the nervous system and brings a sense of calm. Anxiety softens, the body relaxes. According to insights supported by the National Institutes of Health, both vocal activity and deep breathing play a role in maintaining overall physical and mental health. If you are someone who says good morning to a loved one each day or reads something out loud, even for a short time, you are already building a powerful line of defense for your health. You may not even realize it, but you are protecting your body in a meaningful way. Your voice is more than sound. It is a reflection of your life force. There is no need to hold back. Let your voice be heard in your home. Even a simple sound like saying "ah" out loud can activate the muscles in your throat and bring energy back into your body. Now we come to the sixth and final habit. This one may be the most important of all. It has less to do with the body and more to do with the mind and the spirit. It is the habit that often determines whether a person continues to feel alive and engaged well into their later years. People between 75 and 85 who still have a sparkle in their eyes almost always share one simple behavior. They decide on one small thing to look forward to each morning. It does not have to be something big, but it has to be something intentional. As we age, it becomes easy for days to start feeling the same. You wake up and think there is nothing special planned. You move through the day without much direction. When that happens, the brain begins to assume that no new stimulation is needed. It quietly reduces its level of activity. Over time, this pattern can accelerate cognitive decline, but people often described as superagers take a different approach. No matter how small it may seem, they place a flag of anticipation into their day. They give the day a purpose. It could be something as simple as walking to a local bakery in a neighborhood like Portland or Austin. It could be watching the next episode of a show they enjoy. It could be calling a friend. It could be spending time outside doing a bit of yard work on a sunny afternoon. What matters is not the size of the activity. What matters is the decision. The moment you say, "This is what I am going to do today," and you feel even a small sense of excitement, something begins to change in the brain. That feeling of anticipation triggers the release of dopamine. Dopamine is often referred to as the brain's reward chemical. It plays a central role in motivation, pleasure, and engagement with life. Research supported by institutions like the National Institutes of Health has shown that dopamine activity is closely linked to cognitive vitality. In a very real sense, it acts like a natural anti-aging support system for the brain. When someone is asked what they are doing today, and they can answer with a smile saying they have something planned, that person tends to stay mentally and emotionally younger. That is because for them, the day is not something that simply passes. It is something they actively create. If you are someone who enjoys writing plans in a notebook or checking your calendar in the morning, that is something to appreciate. Even thinking about what you might cook for dinner later in the day is a sign of engagement. It means you are participating in your own life. You are sitting in the driver's seat. You have your hands on the wheel, and that forward-looking mindset is what keeps your mind active and your energy alive. That positive intention does not just stay in your thoughts. It reaches every part of your body, supporting your overall vitality from the inside out. So, what did you think? As you can see, none of these habits require special tools or a large amount of money. They are simple, practical choices that anyone can begin right where they are. But there is one important thing I want you to remember. You do not need to do all 6 at once. There is no reason to feel pressure. If there is even one habit you heard today that made you think I could try that or that sounds possible for me, then that is more than enough. That single thought is already the beginning of change. That is the seed of staying younger. For example, maybe tomorrow morning, you decide to start your day with a glass of warm water about 8 ounces just to see how it feels. That one small step is enough. The moment you feel that willingness to try, your brain begins to respond. In fact, that sense of curiosity and action can bring back a level of flexibility in the brain similar to what we see in much younger adults. Life in your 70s and 80s is not a time of losing everything. It is a time to care for your body, to bring joy to your mind, and to experience each day with intention. It can be a deeply meaningful and rewarding chapter of life. You have spent so many years working hard for your family, for your career, and for others around you. You have given your time and your energy. You have done more than enough. That is why the years ahead should be used for yourself. Take this time to support your own well-being. When you are smiling, when you are feeling strong, that energy reaches the people around you. Your health and your happiness become a source of comfort and joy for others as well. Thank you so much for staying with me until the end. As you listen today, did any of these habits already feel familiar to you? Is there something you are planning to try starting tomorrow? I would love to hear from you. Please share in the comments. Maybe you do light morning stretches every day. Maybe you talk to your dog each morning. Maybe you already have your own small routine that keeps you going. When you share it, it may inspire someone else, and it truly encourages me as well. If you found this helpful and it brought you a little more energy today, please consider giving the video a like and subscribing to the channel. And I look forward to seeing you again in the next video.